What's up, sports bettors? We got Monday Night Football. We got a full slate of NBA, and look at this. Lines are on the move. I mean, they are flying around. So what we're going to be going through, pretty wild, right? So what we're going to be going through is a ton of bets for today, and I have a bunch of sports. So what I always say as a sharp sports bettor is we're always looking for value, right? We're always following the value. At least that's the goal. If there's value in college basketball, we're betting on college basketball. If there's value in NBA, we're betting on NBA. So what I try to do in these videos is literally just show you guys what I bet on. Like, what did I personally bet on in the night? And the first game we'll look at is the 49ers Cardinals. So unsurprisingly, Cardinals are a pretty big favorite. Or I apologize, the 49ers are a pretty big favorite. They're best offered at minus 405 right here on the Betfair exchange. So a lot of people are curious what these exchanges are. So essentially an exchange is just peer-to-peer betting. So you're not betting against the house, you're betting against other people, right? So oftentimes, as you get closer to game time, if there's a lot of people betting against each other, it becomes a very active market, So for the Cardinals, they're best offered on Ballybet at plus 375. And again, sports betting 101, get the best possible line. If you're getting ripped off, you're not going to make money sports betting. Sports betting is all about finding value. You're like an investor. You're hunting through the market, the millions of odds, kind of across sports books. Every location also has different bookies. So what you're doing as a sharp bettor is you're like an investor. You're trying to parse through all the data, the millions of odds, updating in real time, this market's dynamic, to find plays like this one, which I got straight from the OddsJam Positive EV tool. So it's the 49ers under 26.5 team total. I didn't wake up today and want to bet on that. I'm betting on it because that's where the value is. So why do we like it, right? You can see here, basically every sportsbook has this minus 107 or worse. DraftKings has lines juiced towards the under. PointsBet has it even. WinBet is the only one, basically, with the over 26.5 team total favored for the 49ers. 10Bet has the under favored. BetOnline has the under favored, right? So we use all this market information. You treat every bookie as like an independent data point of where the line should be set, and you hunt for value. So that's the first play I went with right here, right? But again, I say this all the time too. There's not one way to skin the cat. The whole point of OddsJam, the whole point of data is just presenting real-time market data, which encompasses, making a Bloomberg terminal essentially, gives you access to all this data and tries to make it actionable, right? So the next tool we can look at is the middle betting tool. So what this tool shows you is when sportsbooks have lines different from each other. So what you're going to notice in this Raiders-Seahawks one, which I ended up clicking into, is WinBet is the only sportsbook with the spread at 5. Most sportsbooks have it at 4 or at 3.5. And any sportsbook that has these alternate lines, these are called alternate lines when sportsbooks offer numerous spreads, which you can see here. When sportsbooks offer these alternate lines, you can kind of get a sense, but also you can just see, WinBet's a 1.5 off from the market. You can imagine if the score is 24-20, we push on Raiders plus 5, Raiders plus 3.5 bettors, which is a lot of the market. That's where BetMGM and FanDuel has their line. They're losing. We're winning. Right? If the Seahawks, also, if you place that bet on Caesars or DraftKings, you would push 24-20. We'd win. So finding these extra half points of value, it really is what makes you go from being a profitable sports bettor or an unprofitable sports bettor to a profitable sports bettor. So this is the next play I locked in. Again, it's not as straightforward as an EV bet, but we're using data to identify these inefficiencies out of the millions of odds kind of on sports books, and then we're hitting them, and we're wagering on them. So this play I went with next. Play number 2. So we can continue to go through. There were a ton of World Cup bets, but honestly, there's so many different days, and FanDuel's, I just ended up not skipping them, but I'm not going to go through them in this video so I don't have to track them in my profit and loss. Again, I've been, since Starting this on September 12th, been tracking profit and loss, trying to do this. Remember to always update it, doing it for live streams as well. So we had the Eagles under 26.5 team total on live stream. So that cash, which is 150, which is pretty great as well. So trying to grade this, keep it up to date. It's in the description. But a play I will show you, and I did end up going with, is right here. I say this all the time, but the same strategy that applies to betting on the NBA or NFL or player props, it's the same strategy always. Sportsbooks charge the vig, a spread. Your job as a sharp bettor is to beat the vig, beat the juice. So next I went with DeRozan over 23.5 points, minus 105. And again, I show you all these plays, just because I want to ideally show you the power of like mathematical sports betting. When you have an edge, and you have an edge, it really is just about placing as many bets as you can, forming your own hedge fund of profitable bets. Here we can see Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker in the world, they're pricing this at minus 140. So these are fantasy sites, but we look at all this data in the market and it's like, yeah, Bet Online, Pinnacle, two really sharp offshore sports books. They both have the over for DeRozan favored. So does DraftKings. So does PointsBet. So does Sports Illustrated. So we look at all these, books and we're just like, okay, yeah, that's a play we want to go with. Another thing, I'm definitely going to be giving out more plays on Twitter. Obviously easier to tail, more in real time. So feel free to tail that. Or I'll leave a link in the description, as well as writing on the OddsJam blog, just about sports betting strategy. So you can feel free to check that out, and hopefully it's helpful. Obviously the articles I wrote under my name, so feel free to check these out. Anyways, what did I go with next? The final thing, again, tons of World Cup plays on FanDuel late last night. And again, it's just like you never know when these bets are going to occur. I say it all the time, but we saw it at the start of this video, like lines move, right? Lines are always moving. This market's dynamic, But anyways, then I created two parlays. Zach LaVine over 20.5 points. Nurkic over 2.5 assists. Parlay 1, $750 at plus 281 odds. This is on Betway Sportsbook, a new sportsbook. Not new sportsbook, but it's not available in most states. So when I have access to it, definitely want to take advantage of it. And then I ended up going with Grant under 4.5 rebounds. So just EV plays, right? LaVine over 20.5 points. Edwards under 22.5 points. Again, take the sports out of your sports betting. Find plays that beat the vig, hit them, and that's how you make money. So here are our first two bets, the bets that were just from the EV page. 49ers team total, 2.64% profit margin, $1,000 stake. You multiply those together, your bet is worth $26.40 in EV, in profit margin. You try to give me $20, I'm telling you no, go away. My bet is worth $26.40. And then this DeRozan one, right? Slightly lower profit margin, but like we're literally forming our own portfolio, hedge fund of mathematically profitable plays. And then you can see here, I added in, it says no promos, no fantasy. Promos are cheating. I mean, they're literally designed to be profitable for the most part. In fantasy, it's not really sports betting, so I'm not including it. But here I have the Raiders +5, 49ers under team total, my two parlays, and DeRozan over 23.5 points. Let's make money.